Hello and welcome to the Corner Flag. The king has been coronated and it's not Charles, it's Big Sam Allardyce. Welcome to episode 213. Oh, what a day. What a day in the Premier League. What a week in the Premier League. What a next few weeks it's going to be in the Premier League. Talking about all of this with me is Mukesh Manjunath. And after a long hiatus and after many demands of our listeners as to where his ass has been, Aakarsh Chandan has returned to the podcast. Welcome, Muki. Welcome, Aakarsh. How's it going?
Hi. In my defense, I did try and come that 1 week where Murphy's Law just took over. But this time, let's hope we finish this. We finish what we started.
Yes, I think
this podcast went from being Corner Flag feed Mukesh to Corner Flag feed Aakarsh Chandan.
Yeah, how the tables have turned.
I feel like we've swapped roles very often now over the years. Like Amogh is the spine and it was me, then it was you, but you are never really there. So that
correct. How dare you crack this joke after coming after 8 months?
To be fair, Mukesh has been very there and very regular. I think I'll tell you what. I think I have a theory as to why that is the case. I feel like ever since we partnered with Idea Brew Studios and ever since we started recording in a studio, Mukesh has been a lot more involved and a lot more hands-on and a lot more available. Because I feel like that way he just has to show up to a place. The mics are set up for him. The camera is set up for him. He doesn't have to do shit. He doesn't have to record individually. He doesn't have to email the recording to anyone. He just has to come to a place, sit, talk, and fuck off.
Yeah. It's really the best thing is to just not have to do any task. Not learn some new technology that's like, oh, this is the new thing that's recording well. No, have enough things to worry about in a week. 10 of them are Liverpool related, so I'm done. I don't want to learn about any software that records well, that doesn't do that. This is very good.
But
they make the green tea also for you, no?
Yeah.
They don't make podcast itna acha bhi nahi chal raha hai, but they have green tea which I make for myself. Machine I learned.
When I was there, it was being made for you.
Exactly. I very distinctly remember our sound engineer Siddharth going and making the green tea for you as if his hands weren't full enough already dealing with all of us in his studio. But you do you, Mukesh, whatever it takes to get you to be there on time. And by and large, you've been arriving on time at the studio.
Yeah, correct. When they serve me green tea on time, I turn up.
Yes.
That's the secret.
Ironically, we're having this conversation on Zoom today. The studio is not available for us today, so we are on Zoom. So for the people who will see the video snippet that we'll put out, we are in 3 different locations. Mukesh is at Anfield, I'm at Old Trafford, and Aakarsh is in hell because he supports Everton. There's flames all around him, and he says, this is fine. But we don't begin with either of our 3 teams, boys. We don't begin with Everton. We don't begin with United. We don't begin with Liverpool. We begin with Leeds United because Leeds United recently, after losing 4-1 to Bournemouth, they sacked their new head coach, Javi Gracia. And I just feel like Javi Gracia must have been confused because he's like, I signed for Leeds, right? Not Watford. I've done Watford already. How are you sacking me so soon?
Like, that must be rock bottom. Now, when he got sacked from Watford after a short period, he must have been like, you know what, this is Watford. It's fine. Now at Leeds, he's like, shit, maybe it's me.
it's not you. It's definitely me. That's basically what Javi Gracia is going through. But his replacement is where we begin today because it's a massive announcement by Leeds United. It has sent all the Leeds United fans into
massive in like pun intended.
Yeah, massive in size, in stature, in size.
Footballing
mostly.
Brains also. Footballing brains as he claims.
Ego, everything. Big Sam Allardyce, everybody, is back in the Premier League. He's got 4 games to turn it around for Leeds United. He adds another club in his long list of clubs that he has managed in the Premier League and in the United Kingdom, actually. Fucking hell, dude. Like, I was just seeing all the tweets and all the comments on articles that Leeds fans have been posting, and they're just properly going into meltdown. Because what a fall for Leeds United! Like from Marcelo Bielsa to Sam Allardyce, this has gone south very, very fast.
I think this is a team that's accepted that at some point it wanted to play exciting football and challenge for Premier League. Now it's like, hey, we'll just survive here.
Yeah.
Who cares about this exciting football nonsense?
Yeah.
Who cares for the viewers' entertainment?
Yeah.
Let's survive. Let's coast along.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think the Leeds United just like, our fans just like watching football, Premier League football. Doesn't matter if it's exciting or not. I guess we just need to focus on having Premier League football.
Yeah, that's priority number one, clearly. That's route one.
Yes. And spectacular that you say route one, because that's basically the only route that Sam Allardyce knows. But Aakash, as an Everton fan, you are, of course, our resident Sam Allardyce expert. You have been in close contact with the man because you have had a deep personal relationship with him in a season that he got you 8th place, by the way. Let's not forget that he got you top half finish. So,
yeah.
you know, at this point, especially, you would take that shit. You would absolutely take that shit.
No, for sure. And like when Sam Allardyce had come in as Everton manager, I remember like being like, this is awful. This is a terrible decision, and I don't want Sam Allardyce on my team. And through the season, at the end of the season, even when he got us 8th, I was like, yes, but this was a bad decision. Anyone could have gotten us 8th because there was enough time. Retrospectively, 8th is the highest we've finished in the last 6-7 years. So fuck Sam Allardyce. Thank you for making some amazing memories. You're the man. Yeah. I love you. I miss you. I never thought I would say that, but I fucking miss you.
You know, the thing is, with the way the league table is poised right now, Big Sam can actually help his new team stay in the league while relegating his old team. So you better believe and you better hope that Everton fans treated him with respect, because otherwise he has a grudge and he will act on that grudge.
Oh, I know he has a grudge. He will probably act on the grudge. And as soon as they announced him, I was like, that's a good decision by Leeds. They've suddenly become very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for them to go down now. Because they were out of they've never been in the relegation spots. They've managed to stay afloat. And now Sam Allardyce just needs to make sure he gets like a point a game and he'll be fine. And that he can pretty much do. You know, he made Pep Guardiola worry. So I think Leeds are going to stay up. It's a great signing for them.
Right. So let's talk about his first ever press conference for Leeds United, because that's where the box office hits just came out, right? Like immediately, Big Sam didn't waste any time. First press conference for his new club, he's just brought out the big guns. And by that, I don't mean his love handles. He basically just went on and said, nobody is ahead of me in footballing terms. Not Pep, not Klopp, not Arteta. Actually, let me do this properly. Nobody's ahead of me in footballing terms. Not Pep, Klopp, not Arteta. That's how he talks. But they do what they do and I do what I do. I wouldn't say I'm better than them, but I'm definitely up there. Fucking brilliant, right? Like, Mookie, what do you think? Like, is this a highly evolved individual engaging in mind games, or is this just Sam Allardyce being dumb?
I think it's both. I think it's so beyond all of us and all of the understanding that we get, because it's actually brilliant because nobody's focusing on Leeds players anymore.
Yeah.
Right? The attention has all gone to Leeds. Even when they've lost, people are saying, of course, they did lose to City, but they're talking about how good a fight they put up.
Yeah.
Plus, I think he knows that his contract is just for 4 games.
Yeah.
If whatever he does, he just has to do it for 4 games. And I do think he's been long enough to consider these as mind games. He's done these mind games. He's willing to be the butt of the joke if it means the team gets a little bit of a mentality boost to survive.
Yeah.
If they take 4 points in the next 3 games, I think they have 3 games pending, he knows they're gold. And then I think the club will forever be indebted. And that might mean Everton goes down, which means I will be indebted. But other than that, I think it's a genius mastermind, right? Knowing when to play the dumb card. And I think he's chosen the perfect time. He knows exactly what the assignment is. He knows not to over-intellectualize it. He knows what it means to survive. And I think he's very comfortable being the butt of the joke and playing boring as fucking football.
Absolutely.
Guys,
Right. And
I think you're over intellectualizing it. You're saying he's playing
Oh,
chess. He's not.
even calling him dumb is over intellectualizing.
No,
I feel
I'm
like
saying
that's a little harsh.
or rather, let me say, he's under. Y'all are saying he's playing chess. I feel like he has a longer goal. He's watching Ted Lasso. And he's like, they're making this Nate antagonist a little bit light now. He doesn't care so much about managing now. He's like, I want to go next level. I want to be Ted Lasso 4 ka villain. That's what he's aiming for. No one's told him this is the final season.
But yes, we should talk about his first game in charge. What a massive game to begin his Leeds United journey. Of course, playing Manchester City. Now, a lot of people expected Man City to absolutely thump Leeds United because that place is in complete disarray. Obviously, with Big Sam coming in, there's a lot of questions that the fans have been asking about the direction that the club is going in. And regardless of what Sam Allardyce says about that situation, the mood around the club is not going to be great considering the position that they're in. And you know Manchester City, they love to they sniff out this fear and they love to attack it. Like once they smell blood, they will go for it. But it wasn't to be. It was just a modest 2-1 defeat to Manchester City. They got a goal back, which is great. And Big Sam even said that he's looking to build on that performance even though they lost. So there is a possibility that he does end up keeping them in the league, because right now they're in 17th place, but Everton and Forest, who are 18th and 19th, have a game in hand over them and they're only 1 point behind. So as our relegation expert again, Aakarsh, I turn to you again. Do you think that Everton have what it takes to make up that game in hand and push Leeds back into the relegation zone?
No, yeah, I don't think so. That game in hand currently is the game that's going to be played today after we record, which is against Brighton. Everton's not going to take anything away from home at Brighton. So I'm sure that Everton's going down. I think Forest and Leicester, I'm not so sure. Leeds are safe. I think Sam Allardyce and Leeds have enough in the tank to stay afloat.
Right. I just also want to talk about his contract. Apparently, he makes £500,000 for these 4 games that he's in charge of Leeds United, regardless of what happens. And if he manages to keep them up, he gets another 2.5 million, which is interesting because when he came to the club, Leeds were outside the relegation zone. So all he has to do is just keep them there, and he makes 2.5 million. If that is not a great job, I don't know what is. Muki, have you ever
That's
had a
what he
better job?
means. That's what he means by he's smarter than Arteta and Klopp, because they have to work so hard. Pep's lost more hair. I think people around him have started losing hair. Arteta started graying. Right? Klopp's gone a bit nuts and he has to get a second hair transplant. Allardyce has to just turn up and do. He's like, if I maintain status quo, right? If I make myself invisible and my coaching methods invisible, I'm a millionaire by the end of it. I think that's why he's smarter than everybody else.
Right, absolutely. Now let's talk about Everton for a little bit, because we've missed you on the show, Akash. We've missed your Everton rants, and some might suggest that you were not coming on the show because of where Everton were. And today we had to like literally drag you into this recording and be like, listen, there are people who are asking for you. This never happens to any one of us. You have a privilege, my friend. You have the ear of the listeners. They want to listen to you, mainly because they want to laugh at the situation that you're in. But let's talk about Everton's last game, which was against Leicester, a 2-2 draw. Now, that was a big game for Everton because both Everton and Leicester were in the relegation battle. And 3 points over Leicester would have been a massive victory for Everton. But that wasn't the case. It was 2-2. And like you said, we were watching the game together and you yourself said, it's like both of these teams want to go down.
Yeah, not only both these teams want to go down, but honestly, watching that game, both the teams deserve to go down. Like, it was 2-2, which is a high scoring game, but that game had so many goals in it. It was absolutely, firstly, both the keepers had a great game. I think without them, it would have been 4-4 or something like that. But yeah, both teams look like they want to go down. They definitely deserve to go down. And I don't think anyone will be will say that they were unfortunate to go down if they do, or rather when they do.
Right. Uh, do you think that Leicester are also going to get dragged back into the relegation zone because they're out of it currently? They are sitting quite pretty at 16th place with a game in hand over Leeds. So, it do you really think that Leicester can be drawn back into it?
Look, Leicester have 4 games remaining. It's Fulham away, Liverpool, Newcastle, and then West Ham. Those
Tough.
fixtures are tough. But if you look at Nottingham Forest's fixtures, I think of the lot, they have the worst fixtures possible, which is why I feel like they might go down. So they have a game against Southampton later tonight, which is going to be a big game in the relegation battle. After which they play Chelsea and Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So again, between Forest and Leicester, it's going to be who can sneak a point or two against the big ones. And I'm not sure who that's going to be. So I can't call that one. I feel like 19th and 20th I've come to terms with. It's that last spot which I'm not sure about.
Right. So then if you can't call that, then let's see if you can call the game against Brighton. Let's look forward to the Brighton game. Of course, we're doing this now. By the time this episode releases and you guys get to hear it, this game would have already taken place. So whatever we are about to say now is pretty much futile. But let's give it a go anyway. Brighton, of course, and as a United fan, having been beaten by Brighton, which we'll get to later on in the show, they're a fucking tough team, man. They are playing some beautiful football. They are resilient and they have a point to prove, especially after losing the Carabao Cup final. I think now they have a point to prove in the Premier League and they want to qualify for Europe. So how is Sean Dyche going to counter this?
I mean, I feel like Sean Dyche has lost me the support that he had from me a while ago, but I feel like he needs to fix the defense. The defense hasn't been working. With Michael Keane, it's just not working. He needs to play a natural right back at right back. He needs to not play Michael Keane when he has Connor Cody and Yerry Mina on the bench. They're both much better. I feel like he needs to stop the favoritism, pick the best team possible, and that would be a start.
Right. Mookie, do you have anything to say about a future Liverpool player in Alexis McAllister? Because rumors are suggesting that contact has been made with his camp and the project has been pitched to him.
Right. After the Bellingham debacle, I have decided not to trust any rumors. And even after, not just the Bellingham debacle, but the Arthur Melo experiment.
Oh, let's talk about Arthur Melo in a bit.
A player, not only am I not believing rumors until a player is signed, but even after a player is signed, I'm not believing that they'll play for Liverpool and have an impact.
Yeah.
So I shall remain silent. But yes, I'm super excited. I hope it happens and it looks like it's happening. As much as I try to cover my base instincts, I can't help but get super excited. Especially, I want to just raid. You know, Brighton is that other kid's lunchbox and I just want to snatch and eat everything from there.
Yeah.
I want to raid their entire midfield.
I mean, look, to be fair, Spurs tried to do that with Bissouma and that has not gone well for them. So one can argue that maybe...
And I guess Chelsea tried to do that with Potter and that didn't go too well for them.
That's true. Potter and Cucurella. So, there's
Potter and Cucurella.
But there we go. Right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll talk about Liverpool's great run and United's not so great run. And of course, we'll also answer your questions. See you on the other side.
The United States Border Patrol has exciting and rewarding career opportunities with the nation's largest law enforcement organization. Border Patrol agents enjoy great pay, outstanding federal benefits, and up to $20,000 in recruitment incentives for newly appointed agents. If you are looking for a way to serve something greater than yourself, consider the United States Border Patrol. Learn more online at cbp.gov/careers/USBP. That's cbp.gov/careers/USBP.
Hello and welcome back to the Corner Flag. And as always, we begin the second half with your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
And as you know, Amogh, Corner Flags listeners, always interested in variety of topics in football,
Yes.
known for diverse interests. So, and like that, we do have many questions on many topics. First one from Krishiv_25 says, just a normal season of Man United is all I ask God. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, the thing is, I
And
completely...
so what, and guess what? Fazil Abbas Baratwala also says, how to cope with United bottling top four.
Okay, you know what? I think the thing is... Fazil,
One second. Mehta.Ishan, he throws a googly. He says, is it time for United to get rid of De Gea?
I don't know what to say to that.
One second. Ariho Samba asks, why God? Why? Exclamation marks. I guess maybe not really a question. Always throwing googlies at us. Why is United ruining my weekends? Why? No
Just
punctuation.
Existential crises happening. You know what? I feel like...
Wait. I also have one for you, which you can probably club in. What was the score, Amogh?
Fuck off. You know what? I think it's best because according to the running order, the United results are much later on in the half because, depression. So to Krishiv, to Fazil, to Ishan and to Samba, I feel like we'll get into all your questions together, not individually in this specific segment, but together when we're talking about Man United. I guess we'll address all of these questions then. But for now, I think let's make Mukesh a very, very happy boy because we'll start talking about Liverpool.
Yes.
Fantastic run of form over the last 5 games, 5 back-to-back victories now. 6 back-to-back victories now. And the last 2 in the double game week, of course, being 1-0 victories over Fulham and Brentford. You must be really happy because it feels like Liverpool are making a late push for top 4.
Yes, I'm super excited. Also, it still looks highly improbable. I checked, the odds are 1:4 that Liverpool makes it to top 4, considering that both United and Newcastle are
very symmetric odds, by the way. Very, very pleasing to have those odds in perfect symmetry. 1 out of 4 for top 4. Fucking beautiful. I love it when things work out like this. I'm just hiding my depression, but yes.
Yes. No, please. I love it when you talk.
No, please, you talk.
A Liverpool thing.
Talk.
It's just no. So it is super exciting. I honestly feel like Liverpool are playing good football. They're still not playing great football. That doesn't mean it. I just feel like they have a little more luck going their way, a few more decisions, I think. So that's good. I think Liverpool got a penalty at Anfield after a really long time. So a lot of good things. Very exciting times to be a Liverpool fan. I still think, honestly, I still think top 4 is improbable because United and Newcastle both are comfortably sitting in 3rd and 4th and have a game in hand. But I'm like wondering, where was this game? What was this Liverpool doing for the first 20 games?
But to be fair, Mookie, Liverpool are 5th now, but just 1 point behind Man United and
a game.
3 points behind Newcastle. But that's fine. Like it's not that bad because, and we'll get to this later. Like I said, United aren't in a great run of form, and Newcastle also had a defeat in this last game.
So I think it requires, for Liverpool to seriously challenge for top 4. United need to have 1 more loss. I've calculated this. United need to have 1 more loss. Newcastle need to have at least 2 more losses. Which I think the first one seems a little more probable. United losing 1 more and then drawing a 1 after that. So they need to lose 4 points. But because there are only 3 games left, it is a little tricky. And also, my bigger fear is actually Liverpool playing Leicester. And Leicester is a team, it's not a bogey team per se, but they know how to beat Liverpool.
Yeah.
Even in this bad run of form, it just takes, and Liverpool are conceding and very open at the back. It takes one insane ball by, say, a Tielemans or one crazy run by Vardy, and that's it. And Liverpool have opened up on their tense and their nervous. So I'm not very hopeful until final day.
So on that point specifically, and I feel like we've kind of spoken about this in one of the previous episodes where it was just you and I, and Aakarsh was nowhere to be seen. But I'd like to get Aakarsh's thoughts on this as well. When you speak about Liverpool's defense being a little shaky, yes, of course, we know that Virgil van Dijk is not having the best season of his life. He is proving time and again that he is not, in fact, a bargain. But
Please. Excellent bargain. In a world where United buys players for 100 million.
We're just talking about Liverpool. We'll talk about United later. All the United bashing can happen just a little bit later. I'm saying the one thing that we've all noticed that Klopp has done is he's given Trent Alexander-Arnold a free role. Right. And we spoke about this, I think, in the last episode, where it's a slightly unconventional thing that Klopp is doing, where a free role is being given to a right back. Usually you see a number 10 in a free role, or even a number 6 or a number 8 in a free role. But having a right back play that role is very, very unconventional. So oftentimes what we're seeing is Trent is moving anywhere in the field. He comes into the middle of the park, he goes wide right, sometimes he goes wide left, sometimes he's in the box. He's all over the place. And what that means is you have two central defenders and one Andy Robertson kind of, making up the numbers at the back. Is this actually a good thing that Klopp is doing? Because there's two sides to look at this. One is, yes, Trent's game has improved, at least his attacking game. And of course, everybody has spoken about how his defensive abilities are not as great. But over the time period that Klopp has been using this tactic with Trent's numbers for assists have gone up. He started making a lot more key passes. So it has helped in the attacking sense a little bit. But has it caused more damage in the defensive half? And I want Aakarsh to weigh in on this first.
Honestly, I feel like he's changed the system. I don't know if it's more of it feels more like a 3 at the back now. A 3-4-3 kind of a system. With Trent playing in midfield. He's not a right back anymore. वो ज़माना खत्म हो गया.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a good change to make because everyone on this planet has spoken about how Trent cannot defend. And he's an amazing attacker. So he's given him that free role. I feel like it's an experiment that he's doing towards the end of the season, which is clearly working out. But it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Liverpool line up next season onwards. And whether he replaces Trent in right back and goes back to his 4-3-3, which is his preferred formation, which he's been playing at multiple clubs, or he sticks to this 3 at the back.
Yeah.
But whatever they were doing early half of the season, like Mukesh said, first 20 games, they weren't there. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's decided, let's do some experimentation. I think their run of form shows that it's working. It's a great week.
Right. Muki, what do you have to add to that?
I think people because people are not watching the games closely, just looking at the results, are not seeing that Liverpool are being a little lucky on the odd, the luck is catching up. There are, sometimes it all evens out over your luck sort of evens out over a period of time. So because I think I've seen Liverpool be extremely shaky. They're caught out because they are stretched a lot thin, but maybe sometimes because attackers aren't, by the final end, so attackers are a little more tired. The concentration wavers off a little more. So their shots are weaker. They have lapses in concentration, which means even if a defender makes a mistake, they can cover up. Right? They have the extra edge to cover up. Especially someone like Andy Robertson, who's proper left back, now kind of forced to play left centre back, which is a completely different role. And he's not physically very big. I'm worried that if they don't have reinforcements either in the midfield, especially in the DM role, that if they don't get that reinforcement, then next season you'll have Liverpool playing the chaos ball of 2015-16, where it's like each game is 4-3, 5-4. Minimum it's 3-2, where you're just like throwing hands up in the air and you're hoping that you're going to win the rest, which I think was fun for that team. But I think because that was the team that was challenging to be top 4, roughly where Newcastle is right now. But I think this is the team that now the expectations are that they challenge for the title and Champions League directly.
Yeah.
So you need people who control the game. Now, if Trent is going to cause chaos up front, you need players who control. And right now, Liverpool don't have any players who can control the game, which is why you need. So I think inherently, I don't feel like it's a strategy that will work in the long term in terms of once the next season begins. But I do think it's a fun system to have. And once you have enough good reinforcements, it probably might be fun. But if going by Liverpool's track record, where they have no investments because they have negative money, Liverpool is the only club that has negative money, then I don't think it's sustainable even next season.
But so talking about the reinforcement issues, we've spoken about the rumors of Alexis McAllister going to Liverpool as well. One can argue that an attacking midfielder is not exactly the need of the hour right now, considering you have Luis Diaz, you have Diego Jota, you have Darwin, you have Salah, there's Gakpo, there's enough attacking reinforcements that are there already. What Liverpool need is somebody who can hold the midfield, exactly like you said, because Henderson's not getting any younger. Thiago's not getting any fitter. Naby Keita's, well, Naby Keita, like there's no solution to that. And if rumors are to be believed, James Milner is going to go to Brighton on a free transfer at the end of the season. Are you sad?
I am extremely sad. You have no idea how much I'll never miss. And in this moment, I would like to narrate one instance, please. This is a sentimental moment. One classic James Milner moment that I love, which I feel like I'll never forget, and that to me is him personified. Isn't that in that Liverpool win over Barcelona where they made it 4-3, right? He, in the dying seconds of the match when Barcelona looked like they might equalize, right? He was the only person in the Liverpool squad, not only in terms of age, but also in terms of shamelessness, who went and sat on the ball. And I thought that you're playing with you're playing with Messi and you're playing with Messi and you assume any game with Messi involves some level of divine. Yeah. And then there's a player who's just willing to sit on the ball, no matter how shameless, how dirty, how anti-football it looks, because at that point, that's what was required. Okay. And that to me is James Milner, and I will miss that.
Are you saying that he was willing to sit on the ball, or are you saying that his knees just gave way because he's 38 and he just needed to sit on the ball? Like he just needed a timeout. He just needed a break. It can be looked at it both ways. But it's great what Brighton do, because Brighton have also got Adam Lallana in that dressing room from Liverpool, right? Like just all Liverpool's old English rejects now finally making their way into the Brighton dressing room, which is actually a great transfer strategy, because on one hand, Brighton are known to pluck out these random footballers from South America, whether it is your Moses Caicedo or the new one, which is Enciso, who's come from Paraguay, I think, and he's lighting the Premier League on fire. Like with every appearance that he makes for Brighton, he looks like a dangerous attacker who can create something out of nothing. So they have the networks in place to get all these young, raw South American talents into their squad. But obviously, as we've realized with South American players, also the bedding in period in the Premier League is quite a steep one, right? Like it's a big gamble to see if these players can adapt to the conditions in England and to the conditions in the Premier League. So to then have people like James Milner and Adam Lallana just there, even if they don't play, even if they're just there to be sitting in the dressing room to just give pearls of wisdom to these young kids. I think that's a
make
great
them understand English.
And make them understand English. Basically, yeah, like they've not signed a defensive midfielder, they've signed an English teacher. That is free transfer for English tuitions. That is what Brighton are doing. But that's great. But on the other hand,
while we're on Brighton, I feel like since we were talking about Liverpool and their top four hopes, Brighton are still in with a shout, because Brighton have 3 games in hand over Liverpool, and I think 7 or 8 points behind them. Yeah. So Brighton could be that team that sneaks in.
Yeah. There's a very good chance Liverpool finish 6th, because Brighton, if they win all their games and keep up with Liverpool, they are 2 points ahead of Liverpool.
Yeah. Somehow I feel like Man United losing 1-0 to Brighton was actually a good thing, because I really want to see Brighton up in the Europa League spots at least. Because that would be fucking fantastic next season to see Brighton.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Shut up. Before we go on to the topic that I really don't want to go on, one final thing we have to talk about Liverpool. We were talking about transfers. Liverpool legend Arthur Melo. I can't keep a straight face while saying that line. Liverpool legend. This is beautiful. This piece of news really made my day. Liverpool legend Arthur Melo has confirmed that he is leaving Liverpool, and he said, "I'm ready for a new challenge. I hope to say goodbye to Liverpool by playing some minutes."
I think he paused before saying seconds. I think he really thought saying maybe some seconds of football.
I just love the fact, I just love the self-belief and the self-awareness. Some minutes. I don't even want to play 90. नहीं होगा मेरे से और तू भी नहीं देगा मेरे को. 1 minute तो दे. At least give me one. Like, let me go out onto the pitch in a Liverpool kit and say hi to the fans. Like, guys, I also exist in this team. मैं भी खेला है. Like, है मेरे पास.
And I think the Anfield crowd is just about jokes enough to give him a standing ovation if he gets a few minutes, They give him a proper farewell. They make up a song on the spot on his name, give him a standing ovation, ride him off. And then we'll see him again next season when he's playing the Europa team against us. And we lose to him when he scores the goal. That's
but how many minutes cumulatively has Arthur Melo played for Liverpool? Do you have the stats on that, Mukesh?
13.
Has he played at all?
Yes. I think he's played one game. He's played one game.
He's played one game. That's it. So he got signed on loan.
Yep.
And then he was injured for a majority of his loan.
He was the backup to our injury-prone midfielders, and we signed an injury-prone midfielder.
But wait. So he's signed on loan, right? He's not a permanent signing.
He's not.
He's signed on loan. So why is he saying I am ready for a new challenge? Bhai, tere haath mein nahi hai ye.
And also, what was the old challenge? What was the old challenge for you to be ready for a new challenge?
I think the
challenge is getting onto the pitch.
The challenge was getting out of the hospital. That was the challenge. But I feel like as a lone player, I don't think it's up to you to be ready for a new challenge. I don't think that is a possibility. Also, you haven't challenged yourself enough in this current challenge for you to be like, I'm ready for a new challenge. Like, the current challenge doesn't exist.
Yeah. And even if it did exist, it's not over. So stop talking, stop being ready.
Yeah. But yes, we do think that there is, I mean, I don't, but I'm guessing Mukesh, you do think that there is a possibility that Liverpool make it to the top four, and it is primarily because United have decided that, we are Manchester United, we tend to bottle these things as well.
Sorry. I just have one parting stat about Arthur Melo and Liverpool. Is that the only time Arthur Melo has played at Anfield is when he played for Barcelona in that 4-0. When Barcelona was 4-0 to Liverpool. That was the only time he played at Anfield. Other than he's played an away match.
Yeah.
So that's the closest he's gotten to an Anfield experience.
Oh, so wait, Arthur Melo's on loan from Barcelona or Juventus?
Juventus. But back then, in I think 20.
But I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Barcelona or Juventus. Basically, all these guys who are on loan are trying to avoid money laundering issues. Basically, both these clubs are just like, tum log niklo. And they're like, yeah, fuck it. I'll go wherever.
So at least he's part of Liverpool history in some way.
I think that is why when he got injured while at Liverpool on loan, they didn't send him back. Liverpool are happy to foot his medical bills. Because like, fuck it.
No, they'll make him tell the story. Hey, bol, abhi Messi kya bola, dressing room mein bol. He's the guy who tells the story. He's just telling stories from that one night.
Yeah. Right, let's talk about Man United then. Let's get this over with. 2 back-to-back defeats, 1-0 defeats to Brighton and to West Ham. Things are not looking good for Man United. We almost had top 4 sealed, and then we decided, no, let's make it a little more difficult for us. It's just ridiculous. I didn't see the Brighton game. It was a 99th minute penalty that McAllister scored, which was probably karma for the time when the full-time whistle was blown in COVID times. Full-time whistle was blown and then a penalty was given. So in a certain way for neutrals, I guess it's karma. The West Ham game, which was last night, I hate myself for staying up to watch that game. I switched it off at about 70 minutes because we were playing absolute rubbish. But yeah, it's terrible. Should we talk about the Brighton game first?
You talk.
I mean, I honestly don't. Luke Shaw handball, clear as day handball, no arguments, fuck all, done and dusted.
And it was amazing because until then, Luke Shaw was playing okay. I heard Luke Shaw was playing reasonably well.
I mean, the thing is with a handball, it's not because you're playing badly that you give away a handball. Anybody can give away a handball. Like, you can't really do anything about it. But just overall, I just felt like the goals have dried up. Which for FPL reasons, I guess it's fine because Aakarsh, you still have Marcus Rashford in your team and I don't. So I don't get that blank. So in a way, there's slim silver linings that I can think of. But that West Ham game was even worse. Like, it was just terrible play. Like, we were so bad.
Was that just part of David Moyes' pension plan?
Probably. I think it's in his contract.
I need one chip. Whichever team I go to is obviously eventually going to get into a relegation battle. Tabhi 3 points all home.
That is, I think it is mentioned in his contract, and that is exactly what happened. But let's talk about that David De Gea error for West Ham's goal side, Ben Rama scoring that goal. It's like, okay, what do you guys think? Like, if, a non-United fan's opinion, do you guys think David De Gea's time is over?
I've been saying it for very long. I've been telling you for very long, and you've been defending David De Gea, saying no, he's still in great form. He's still got the legs.
But he has been, man. He has been in great form for a majority of the season. Yeah, he's made some great saves.
I mean, I feel like he's been error prone for a while. This is not the first
And
time that there's been a David De Gea blunder to speak about.
doesn't he have the highest number of clean sheets this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I know he's first and Alisson I think is second with 13 and he's on
Yeah.
15. So
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot of shit about United, but they somehow, I think the first half they were very good, which I think is saving them. And the second half they've crumbled.
It was just, I mean, see, it was a routine stop. There wasn't enough power from Benrahma in that shot. It was something that he should have saved very easily. But we've spoken about this in previous seasons as well, where David De Gea tends to perform the best when his defense is not good. It's when he is not challenged enough is when he makes these errors because he loses focus. But I mean, he's made 550 appearances for the club, so obviously there is some reason to that, right? Like,
Exactly.
I still do not believe that Dean Henderson, like many United fans might say, is the answer. I don't think Dean Henderson is good enough to be Manchester United number one. I would be
Jack
very
Butland.
fuck that. With Jack Butland, Tom Heaton, तो मतलब ऐसे time pass के लिए they've been hired, as in like as deputy goalkeepers. मतलब it is basically a paid vacation for the two of them. But I feel like basically what's happening right now is, and Ten Hag has also said this, that they want to keep David De Gea on for next season because they do value him and they want to sign a new contract, but they want to sign a contract with lower wages. David De Gea also wants to continue at Man United because I think at this point even he realizes that no other big team is going to want to take him. So maybe a situation where he drastically reduces his wages is good for us because then we can get another goalkeeper who can then be a future number one, if not a permanent, immediate number one. I think that's the best solution.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, if United want to finish top 4 in the league, is he one of the top 4 keepers? I don't know.
See, I think again, if you, like I said, if any other time of the season, if I told you there is a keeper with the most number of clean sheets, there is a keeper with the most number of clean sheets in the season, and his team is currently 4th, but they could be 3rd or 5th, whatever, but they could still be 3rd. And until midpoint,
Right.
they were challenging for the title, or at least it was considered they were title challengers. You wouldn't be this unfair on a keeper. Now,
Exactly.
I guess, to be honest, I didn't know he was a clean sheet leader. I just feel like I've seen him make, maybe it's because they just stand out and we speak about them often, but I feel like there have been lots of De Gea blunders in recent
But they
times.
do. The thing is, no, and a lot of pundits also speak about this. When a goalkeeper makes an error, it usually leads to a goal, and which is why it's always remembered. But the saves that keepers make are not as remembered as the errors that they make. It's just how it goes. Like
Sure, of course.
it's just the unfair nature of being a goalkeeper. And I feel like, yeah, he is error prone, no doubt about it. Hugo Lloris is also error prone. Alisson is error prone. Fucking Ederson is error prone. Right? Like, but nobody talks about Ederson's errors as much because he plays for Man City and Man City is consistently challenging for titles. The minute you're in a team which is not doing well overall, like a Man United or a Spurs, is when your goalkeeper errors get highlighted so drastically in the media. And immediately, and this is what infuriates me a lot, right? Throughout the season, when he's kept these clean sheets and he's made fantastic stops, everybody's just like, fuck, what a stop. Dave the save, Saint David, stay on with our club, fucking legend of the club, this, that, and the other. But the minute he makes an error, immediately everybody like, sell him, get out of our club. Fucking, how can you be so fucking bipolar?
I think my big issue with, if I was a United fan, my issue with De Gea would be that I think till now, the way United were playing, they needed a shot stopper, which he's generally excellent at. I know it's ironic saying that the one thing he messed up last night was the thing. And he's been a great shot stopper. But I think Erik ten Hag seems to want to play and that is probably the nature of football with the modern nature of football, which does becoming everybody, is they want to play out from the back.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper is the first pass in offense.
Yeah.
And I think that De Gea's always been terrible at.
But he's getting better at it. He's working on it. He's getting better at it. Yeah.
No, but getting better is not good enough.
It's
if
not.
United want to be title challengers.
Of course. It's not ideal. But at the end of the day, again, he's not getting any younger.
But when you compare him to say Ederson or Alisson, or even say a relatively Nick Pope, right? I think
Emmy
there's a lot.
Martinez,
Emmy
Ramsdale
Martinez.
is up there.
Who's the Brighton keeper? I keep forgetting the Brighton keeper's name.
Jason Steele.
Sanchez. Yes.
Robert Sanchez, Jason Steele, both.
Yeah, Robert Sanchez. I think he was preferred over Raya because he was better at ball distribution. So I think that is maybe he's not suited for the modern game. I think he's a great shot-stopper. That is probably why he might need to change, because you need a new United have clearly need a new striker. I don't think they can only depend on someone like Rashford having a great league. So I think on both ends, Davide has to go, not because he himself is bad, but because the system is changing, and he was good for however long he was, and United clearly need to change the system if they're to be considered title contenders, and that's why he probably needs to go.
Right. All right, let's quickly go over to Chelsea, because big Frank Lampard has finally won a game as Chelsea manager. They beat Bournemouth 3-1, and the malaise, the rot has apparently stopped. But does one victory mean anything?
They are now mathematically safe from relegation.
Oh, shit.
That's what it means.
That's what it means.
Like, I was going on checking, and I was like, they could still potentially get sucked into it. With this one victory now, it's not
Well, I think Frank Lampard has done the job. He has, it's a roaring success his time as caretaker manager of Chelsea.
Yeah, he rescued his team. The team was at relegation. His team survived. Now he switched teams in the middle. That is his thing.
Yeah.
But he's not getting relegated.
Yeah, I think he needs to understand that he is one of those managers. Like, he is a young Sam Allardyce. He needs to accept it. Forget your मैं तो मतलब ऐसा टिकी टाका खेलेगा and playing out from the back खेलेगा. नहीं भोसड़ी के, तू नहीं खेल सकता वो. तू मैंचो टीम्स को relegation से बचाएगा. तू long ball खेलेगा और तेरा ऐसा 150 फुट का स्ट्राइकर स्कोर करेगा. That is you. You are a young Sam Allardyce.
No, he's the anti-Sam Allardyce actually, because he doesn't. While I would have loved for him to play Route 1 football eventually, he tries to play tiki-taka. He's the guy that teams get, and then suddenly they go into a relegation battle. Chelsea was doing fine. They got him, and then they were in a relegation battle. He's the anti-Sam Allardyce.
He's the anti-Sam Allardyce. And I think that's a lovely way to round off this episode, because we began with Sam Allardyce and we end with the anti-Sam Allardyce. Absolutely perfect. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode of The Corner Flag. But before we go, we have to also give congratulations to Napoli for being Serie A champions. Well done, Napoli. It's a historic win for them. First Scudetto win, I think, in their history, if I'm not mistaken.
No, in 30 years.
In 30 years.
Since Maradona.
Since Maradona, of course. So yeah, wherever the big man is up there, I'm sure he is partying a lot.
And with
well done.
4-5 games to spare, huh?
Yeah, it's just fucking well. I hope.
Isn't it the first major European league to get decided?
I think so. Yeah. Because Spain isn't decided yet. Obviously, England isn't decided yet.
I'm surprised Germany isn't decided, but yeah.
No, because Dortmund's taking it to them.
Very tight. Yeah.
Right. But with that, it is time to end the episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode of The Corner Flag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode or any other episodes, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Mandalat.
You can find Aakarsh on Instagram at
Aakarsh Chandan.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amogh.
That's because his name is Krista Khwastokhelia, who's the guy the top scorer for Napoli. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So please. Ramesh.
Right. You can also follow The Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at @CornerFlagPod. Do visit our website, thecornerflag.in. Support us by buying us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/thecornerflag. We'd really appreciate that. And if you can't do that, make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And do not forget to give us a 5-star review, because that really, really helps us bump up on the podcasting charts. Shout out to Kezat Gurda for composing our fantastic theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Aakarsh.
Bye.
And it's bye from me.